Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is the wonderful, and I say it again, wonderful, Mr. Dave Horrocks.
What are you after? Why am I wonderful today? But welcome, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's TV Reality Cast. We are covering Love Island UK Season 7, Episode 32, Chris. Now, go on. What are you after there?
I'm not after anything, Dave. I was just saying you're a wonderful person and friend. Why being so nice can be so negative, Dave? That's not the way we're going here.
Because it's come out of your mouth. But
why are you trying to say I'm as shallow as fucking Tyler? And
no, not shallow. There's an angle. There's a Phelps angle to this. But I'm sure that will unfold as things go on.
Off the podcast, Dave. Yeah, it
will. so, Chris, I mean, putting it right out there, I don't think this was my favourite episode of the season. And if anything, it might be my least favourite. But, I mean, where do you want to start?
Well, Dave, I'll be honest with you. Right and slap back in the middle of my notes, I did put, this is a shit episode. So I mean, the episode starts. We've got three of the Casa Amor girls. We've got Mary, Clarice, and Amy all talking, and about Tyler. And Clarice is obviously she's been crying, but Sam did spot tonight, Dave, that there was water on the outside of her sunglasses. So I don't know whether she's got like X-ray eyes or something, and she can superimpose the tears. Yeah, there's something there. I think, look, that is a weird dynamic. I don't know as the episode played out, it changed anyway, but I'm not bothered about them. They've got to be one of the favourites. Clarice and Tyler have got to be one of the favourites to go now, without a doubt. He is just ultimate bad guy. But it's when they go the drinks, Dave, and Toby brings the drink out for Chloe. And I'm just like, why have we invested so much time in trying to defend? Now, no, I know we slated Chloe, and quite rightly what she did to Kaz, and she was the one who supposedly had extramarital stuff with this guy, and it was all outed on social media, and his daughter had commented on Twitter that they didn't even know. And then you're sort of thinking she's a bit shady, Chloe, and she's been a bit off, but she's been quite funny, and you sort of, at times this series, you can sort of see that there is a nice person in there. And you're like, oh, well, Toby's a dickhead. We all said that when he did that to Chloe, but I didn't have much sympathy for Chloe. And then she does this, and Millie's the same. What is the matter with these people? And I tell you what's the matter with him, Dave. You know why? Because they want to stay in Love Island. That's exactly why they've been so forgiving. I am so not happy with Millie and Chloe, because I'm like, why have say all this stuff and say like it's a disgrace and all this? And I called out Chloe. I remember it rightly. I said, well, you can't fucking moan to Kaz. But as this has gone on, Toby produces this fucking shit drink and all is forgiven. And I'm like, what are we watching here? What are we watching? Because this can't be what kids like 20 years younger than us do these days, Dave. They must not allow cheating, because it just seems that everybody can just do what they want and then they get back together.
Sends out a horrible message, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Ultimately. And not to get too serious, but I mean, that's exactly what I was thinking. And I think Hannah had put on the Discord as well, like, she's got a daughter. She doesn't want this to be an example where, I mean, Liam, he's just lied through his teeth, and then, he makes a few shit gestures. Millie even calls them out. They're a bit shit. He'll say, throw out some one-liners like, oh, nice dress, would look better on the floor kind of thing. And then, he's obviously made big gestures tonight. But it's like, but have you forgotten? I mean, what has changed? What has changed? He's not really apologized to you. If you weren't here now and Lily was here, he wouldn't be acting the same. He wouldn't be giving all these massive big gestures. So it's very, very disappointing. But also, you can say it's the individuals, but also what choice do they have? They've just got no real good choices, have they? Because, what this is proving is men just go out, play about a bit if you want, because ultimately you'll spend a bit of time in the doghouse and you'll come back and all is forgiven. just a shit message, isn't it?
It's a bad message, Dave. It really is. And with the Chloe situation, the way that, look at when he walked in, when he had Mary on his arm, and he went straight to Chloe, and she called him, and she went, "What a fucking idiot."
What a fucking prick, I think it was,
prick, something like that. But you know what I mean? Like, she was really like, what a dick. And she's looking at Kaz.
Disgusted by him.
That's what I mean. And then in the space of 2 or 3 days, all he's forgiven. I'm like, this doesn't sit well at all, Dave. And look, I'm always going out to the producers. Like you said yesterday, if it's all fake, we may as well pack up and fucking go home. We know that this producer stuff, but like, you look at this supposed thing with Hugo and the job done situation, and it's supposed to took 5 takes for him to kiss Amy, and then now the producers are pissed off with him because it was just like, I don't know why. We're never going to see that. If it's true, they've come out and denied it, but this is the rumor going around. It could be fake or what, but it does lead me to believe that it's not, and it leads me to believe that Chloe has just been said, look, we're going to do this angle with Toby. Are you okay with this? And she's gone, yeah. And I don't buy that at all. I really don't. Look, we're watching it and it's like, wow. But let's be honest here. Toby's going to apologize. Fucking, what's it called, Dave? The exorcist. He's going to exorcist his fucking head as soon as another girl comes in, if another girl comes in. But it just seems really off for me. And the Millie and Liam thing as well. I'm not into it. And all them 4 now for me can pack the bags and fuck off, Dave, because I'm not buying anything they're doing now.
Yeah, I mean, going right to the end, obviously, after the recoupling, it's gone to the public vote to vote for your favourite couple. And I was struggling to think. I don't think there's a couple in there, Chris, that I'm particularly rooting for.
Yeah, I agree. I think Liberty I'm rooting for. I think she's nice.
Yeah.
I think...
But not Jake.
But not Jake, no. And Faye and Teddy, again, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know where I stand on how I feel about these guys.
Yeah, it's just I'm definitely I think Millie and Liam, like you say, I think because of Millie's popularity, I think they've got a good outside chance of winning the whole thing now, as have Faye and Teddy. But in previous seasons, you've really been rooting for a couple to come through, haven't you? Like Paige and Finn, I think in the last season for the UK season 6, I thought they were good winners, and they by the end we were kind of rooting for them. Amber, we were rooting for, and Greg, because he wasn't a complete and utter douchebag. After Amber had suffered Michael for a while, you were kind of rooting for that couple as well. I'm just struggling for any real skin in the game with any of these couples now, if I'm honest.
And I think I'm the same, Dave, because we've gone on this journey. We've called people out. Look, it's reality stuff. Dave, I'll be tuning in tomorrow. You'll be tuning in tomorrow. Whatever happens, we have got great friends watching this all across our social media channels. It's so funny, some of the comments we get on Facebook. And like one of our good friends, Emma, Emma and Asa, our great friends, Emma said, like, I'm so sick of that white glass where they're not drinking anything, and it's like, yeah, you're right, because it feels like there's no way. Look, I said to you, I remember doing Coronation Street and I had to have this non-alcoholic beer, and they kept saying to me, for continuity, you're not allowed to drink it, just sup it at this point, and as soon as the camera moves off you, you've got to put the beer back in the bottle. Dave, I did it 10 times and I don't like beer.
Rank.
Exactly, and I don't like beer anyway, so that I can't stand beer. My first ever hangover was Budweiser, and I don't drink beer whatsoever. So, I was there, Dave, and it was fucking rank. And you can see, I think Amy's talking with one of the glasses, and I think it's a great spot because I'd never noticed it. It's like they're giving them these empty glasses, so it looks like they're having a drink, but they're not having a drink. So it's just all them little things come together when you watch it. But yeah, I'm with you. I think I've got with Faye, it's very 50-50 with Faye. 1 minute I really like her and I think she's really vulnerable and she's really sweet girl and there's someone really nice in there. But on the other side, when she's defending her friends and that, she's just a dick, and then she gets dead snappy. Yeah. So, but Teddy's a great guy. So that I think probably they're the ones. All I see online though, Dave, is everyone calling out Love Island. They've got to do it with Jake. they've got to do something and just to tell Liberty, because this guy is still subtly dropping little crumbs in there with people. He was doing it with Liam tonight.
Yeah. I did like, to be honest, the thumb war game with Jake and Liberty. I thought that was a little cute moment. Very frenzy, but, you know, I kind of like that, to be honest. Was it you saying that they're not going to do the Twitter game this year? Or there's rumours they're not going to do the Twitter game because of the whole Be Kind movement. But I'm like, come on, guys, some of the stuff you've pulled this season, and you're going to throw the Be Kind card on your bike. So I hope they're going to do the Twitter game. If they're not going to do the Twitter game, Chris, something like it where they can at least call out some of the stuff that Jake had been saying.
Yeah.
And especially, you know, I mean, look, Tyler and Liam's defense of what went on in Casa Amor was ridiculous. It's like, oh, people were saying, you know, you should just go for it and what have you. But think about it. In that type of Twitter game, if it's actually up there in black and white and everyone can see, like Jake said to this, you know, go for it. And he's not going to look quite like Golden Bollocks anymore, is he?
No, he's not. He's not. And I will say, Dave, one of the things I noticed tonight. Now, so obviously we're all human beings. Now, bear with me. This is a Chris Phelps analogy, Dave. So it might not work. It might work. Okay. This is literally just coming to my head now. So can you just humor me on this one, Dave?
I always do.
So tonight, it was almost sponsored by Imodium, this episode of Love Island. And if anyone don't know what Imodium is, Dave, it's when you get caught a little bit short for a number two.
Imodium and corks.
Yeah, and corks. So what I found is it was like when you go out somewhere and you've decided that you're fine, but you may have had like a curry the evening before or something that could slightly put your stomach off, and then you need to go, Dave. And what happens is you're then trying to sort of look around and you're looking for a toilet and you're like, oh my God. And you know what that's called, Dave? Desperation. And I lead into that terrible segue by saying Abby and Mary are now so fucking desperate to get with Dale. It was literally, I need Imodium, because it was bullshit that both of them were there to Mr. fucking Teeth going, I really like you. Yeah, oh yeah. Of course you both do. Of course you fucking do. I thought, Abby, I've always liked you. When she was saying it's a Dale, Dave, couldn't look him in the eye. She's looking down at herself, completely false. And honestly, I know that's a terrible, terrible analogy. People are going, what is that, Chris? But it was just fucking desperation wherever you turn tonight.
It was. And the thing is, they tried to inflict a bit of forced drama on us, didn't they, with the recoupling? Because that was really the only thing left. It was so obvious the way the recouplings were going to go. Apart from you get down to Abby's got to make a choice and Mary's got to make a choice after her. You've got Dale stood up there with my mate Sam there. And the thing is, Mary knew that she was in this kind of triangle with Dale and Abby. So she's acting like she's all put out and stuff. It's like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to say now. I don't know what the fuck's it. But it's like, what did you think he was? You knew you were in this triangle. Unfortunately for you, you're going second as the pick. But did you think to let you spend some time with Dale, Abby was just going to select Sam? She was going to throw herself on her sword. I thought, it was just a bit shit. And then I saw a headline. Oh, where is it? Love Island fans left cringing at the most awkward recoupling ever. Fucking hell, Chris. I think it's a stretch, that, isn't it? I just thought it was so forced. And it was a nothing piece of drama. Unimpressed, Chris.
No, I'm with you, Dave, because I did think Mary come out of it very, very arrogant, Dave. Because when she was doing it and Abby picked, like you say, it's fair fucks to Abby. Whoever gets picked first, I'm sure there's a reason behind it. The producers watch it 24/7. They know what's going to happen. She was fucking arrogant as hell, Mary. And then she backtracked and went, oh, but Sam's a great guy. I'm like, hang on, poor Sam. And it's the only, I think a couple of our friends said on Discord tonight, like, I feel sorry for him. I did feel sorry for him. I was like, he was like the guy at football who gets picked last. Who's fucking me. Yeah, me. I've been there, Dave. I've been there, and you're like, oh, go on then. We'll have Phelps or whatever, and I get picked last, and that's like what was going on there. And I'm like, but you're not all that. You think you're all that, and I'm like, but you're not. You know what I mean? She's a good-looking girl, and Sam's a good-looking guy. So don't be so disrespectful, because that could be you next time. And I'm sure if Sam had spoken like that, we would have hell to pay, my friend. Fucking hell to. Imagine him saying there, Dave, going, "Oh yeah, oh fucking hell, I've got to pick her." Oh no. That's basically what she did. I'm sorry, but if the boot was on the other foot, there'd be fucking uproar.
You're right, actually. I mean, I'd not really clicked. I've been sensitive to like Matthew's predicament, but Sam just stood there while Mary's having a hissy fit, which is more for Abby's benefit, it's more for the camera's benefit. But Sam stood right there, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, what am I going to say now?
Ricky Gervais, isn't it, David Brennan? It's the bar scene, isn't it?
She says she's going to be wearing a red scarf. Oh, for fuck's sake.
One of the best scenes ever in The Office. That poor woman at the bar. Hello, is that David? Oh, for
but it's the fact that he says, you don't look like your picture, and then it says, well, you don't look like yours, and then she shows the camera. He's got his old fucking New Romantics, David Brent, all the best. The one with his black shirt on, and he's got the fucking eyeliner and everything.
I tell you what, Dave. Did make me chuckle tonight. Actually. How annoyed was fucking Tyler when Kaz picked Matthew? And fair play to Kaz. I called her out, but she did stick with Matthew. Whatever we think, Dave, he's a better person than Tyler. At the moment, he might get worse, but at the moment, he's come across, even though I think he's playing the game, he hasn't done anything wrong. And I was so pleased. But Tyler's face, fucking hell, Dave, he was fuming.
Yeah, but he even said the other day, didn't he? He was like, oh, I'm stronger than him. And it's like,
ridiculous.
What a fucking nonsense thing to say. It's as if Tyler just doesn't want Kaz to be with anyone else. He's like, I don't really want you enough to commit to you. I kind of want to see how it's going to go with Clarice. But I don't like seeing you with someone else as well. He is definitely the villain of the piece. And, Clarice, I thought at the beginning of the episode did show, she's quite upset by the whole thing as well. She's like, she sees all the other girls, the OGs, crowding around Kaz and giving her lots of sympathy and everything. But she's like, I'm fucking right here. I'm in the same situation again, if not worse, because he'd gone to Casa Amor. He'd already been in the relationship with Kaz and said, like, oh, yeah, no, I'm here and now with you and, committed to you kind of thing. So I don't know. I do think Tyler is definitely the villain. And, I think you reckon they're going to get rid of one or two couples here, Chris, because I think Tyler is at risk of going with Clarice. I mean, Sam and Mary have got pretty much no chance, I think. But,
I think so. I think the reality radar, Dave, as always, is still beeping away. But look, we've got to discuss this, Dave. It was sort of like the highlight of the episode, if you can fucking call it that. Now, Mabel, who we found out is the daughter of Nana Cherry, the great Nana Cherry, I remember from the early 90s.
Did you not know, Chris? I didn't write down with the kids. I knew.
Yeah.
I didn't know who fucking Mabel was at all.
I didn't at all.
Doesn't it say, I mean, I know we're middle-aged blokes and that, but you never fucking feel like that, except for, when they're having a disco and you're like, yeah, I used to fancy her mum.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. But Dave, she was miming, and I almost fucking wish that Liam had mimed his fucking speech. So after Mabel's there, and they're all there like, yeah. Now, if I'm going to, if I make a mistake at home, Dave, with the wonderful Samantha, and there's plenty of them go around, there's plenty of bollocks dropped in our time, I try and do the apology from the heart, Dave, just so Sam knows that even if I'm trying to grovel out of something, there's a little bit of sincerity. Liam, life-defining fucking speech, Dave, reads it off the fucking phone, which I don't think he wrote anyway, Dave. I think he was like, right, well, yeah. And Millie's there. Oh, and I'm like, Millie, the other day you were saying that men were bastards. You'll never do that. See you, Felicia. You're on your own. What's happens, Dave?
Yeah.
He writes a shit poem, which I don't think he's written anyway, and all is forgiven. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm out. You two can fuck off because Millie, you're silly if you're going to go back there.
I thought he got some stick for writing it down on his phone, and up for debate. Did he actually write it himself? But we've seen that, the most Liam can throw out is a couple of one-liners. He's not going to remember, this whole speech that was. I think he was right to have that written down there. The fact that it worked. I mean, it wasn't just that on its own, was it? He'd been chipping away at the last few days to do that. And so, I agree. I was kind of like, oh, this fucking terrible message. Why the fuck are you opening the door again? It's like, oh, it's really cute, isn't it? Have you forgotten? Is it all forgiven now? And it's one of those, Chris, where, right, fine. If they couple up now, what happens let's just pretend for a minute, Chris, that they're going to stay together outside the villa.
Yeah.
What happens when he goes on a lad's holiday?
I know.
Where there's no cameras.
Yeah.
Is she's just gonna trust him implicitly? I think he probably had that trust and he's fucked it. So I don't know. I'm not bought into them as a couple now. I think it went too far. I think Millie just didn't have any other good options. And so, has gone down this route.
No, I agree. But I would love for Millie, and not just to be from a bloke's point of view, me and you talking about how would Liam react if Millie did to him what he did to her? I would love Dave to see his reaction because I guarantee he would not accept forgiveness. I guarantee that. So I think she's a better person than most people for doing that. But also, Millie, she's a nice person, Dave. Do you know what I mean? Like, she seems to come across really well balanced and that. So I think for her, if she stays with this guy, she's going to have a lifetime of misery. Like you say, the deception's there from the get-go. If he was really into her that much, he wouldn't have done what he did. So I think he's all bullshit.
Casa Amor is 4 fucking days, and you've just apparently fallen for this other person. And Chris, remember, he was going to make it official when he walked back in.
Yeah.
so that's coming next, Chris. Either the next episode or the one after that. We're going to have the fucking rose petals. We're going to have a treasure hunt. It's going to be the whole shebang for this one. Jake and Liberties was quite understated, wasn't it? But Liam's going to, with all the lads, he's going to roll out something special, I think. And I don't buy it at all.
No, I was going to say, I'm not bothered. But Dave, we have had an email from the wonderful Kayla, Dave. So it says, hair flip, kiss, wink, Kaz is the moment. Hey guys, Kaz once again gave us entertainment. I hope she and Matthew have a conversation, though, about how the situation made Matthew feel. I'm so disappointed in Millie. I'm not that surprised because there's no one else she likes, and the peer pressure in the villa is strong. I just hope they get voted off because I am so uninterested in their phony rebuilding trust storyline. About half the cast could be dumped from the island on Sunday because I just don't care about Mary or any of the Casa Amor girls. Hopefully, Toby will have his head turned one more time before the show ends. Dave, we're praying for it now because this could get too boring. We've asked and called out people for cheating and stuff like that, but it could end up being that fucking crescendo of nonsense now until we get them shitty dates on the last week. So hopefully Toby does something, or Jake the Snake fucking Roberts pulls something out the bag, Dave, and he actually does a bit of business because that will just cause a massive divide in the actual villa.
Can you imagine if Jake did a 180 at some point, like he did in Casa Amor, like not him, like Curtis did in Casa Amor?
Oh my god!
Can you imagine that? We need some of that because if Toby does it again, it would be mildly amusing. But we're almost expecting it, aren't we? Or, again, don't forget this couple, Toby and Chloe, they weren't very popular. And they were both at different times a bit upset by that. Toby initially, and then Chloe called him fake as fuck. But then in the recoupling after, she was, a bit put out, the fact that they came in the bottom vote again. Maybe this is their attempt to, gain a bit of popularity.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Dave. It's really interesting, isn't it? How it's playing out and how we perceive it when we watch it. You know, one episode you love someone, the next like they're bastards, you know. So it's it is Love Island 101. I just pray that tomorrow's episode is better because we've literally got 2 weeks left of this, haven't we? And it's like, you know, for me and you, it's like, please, Mother of God, let's get to the 23rd of August. But for the story and Love Island, we need something to shake it up, Dave. Something's got to happen now properly because we've had this in previous seasons where they get coupled up and everybody's comfortable. And a couple of the peripheral figures sort of, they have a little bit of drama, but we need more than what we've seen, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting point about, you know, getting that information out of Matthew, getting him to talk about how he felt, you know, about being in this triangle or this square with Tyler and Clarice. But he doesn't strike me as someone who's totally in touch with his emotional side yet. You know, that might come with maturity, but he just seems to clam up, doesn't he? He doesn't really talk about how he feels. So let's see. But Chris, if you can grant me access to share my screen, I've got a voicemail as well.
Oh, David, let's do that right now. That sounded so weird, Dave, but there you go. So if you'd like to do that, let's see who
John
this
Inman.
is from.
Let's see if this works. Right. Now, this is from our good friend Joe, Chris. And this is obviously before last night's episode. Could you hear that, by the way?
No.
I didn't click the bloody thing, did I? Right, share sound as well.
Just out of interest, though, Dave, I can see your search screen. What's this? Bigboobs.com?
Fuck you. Is that a site you sent me?
Hi, boys. It's Joe Russell speaking. Just a quickie from me, because I think you're wrong about something. I think you're wrong about Kaz. Now, obviously, we can all agree that Tyler is a twat. Simple as that. How dare he go, well, yeah, you just sit here and wait and let me go off and see if I like someone else, and you wait here for me, and then I'll let you know. What an arsehole. However, I know that you think she's doing exactly the same to Matt. Is that his name? I don't know. He never speaks. I know you think she's doing exactly the same, but I don't know if she is, because I don't think she's pulling Tyler to see whether they're back on. I don't think she's instigating any of that. I think she is happy to get to know Matt still, and she is being pulled by Tyler and kind of is like, oh, well, I'll go and talk to you because it's making good telly. But I don't know if she's pulling him and doing exactly the same thing that you two think she is. Obviously, at tonight's recoupling, could be proved completely wrong, and I look like the twat. However, hope you're well. Lots of love.
Now, what do you think to that, Chris?
Dave, look, sometimes everybody gets something right. You know, last time Joe came in, guns blazing, and reality radar Chris was correct, Dave. You know, so no, I'm joking.
Remind me on what?
I don't know.
Which prediction this was.
I honestly don't know, Dave, but there you go. No, honestly, Joe's messages are brilliant, Dave. Really good. I love how passionate she is about the show. Like everyone, all our friends.
It like us, doesn't she?
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
But I was trying to think back, because I thought Kaz had sort of said to Matthew about the conversation she had with Tyler, but I came away from that conversation feeling like she'd still left the door open with Tyler in that conversation she had with Matthew. So if I'm thinking that as a watcher, well, Matthew definitely thinks that as well. And I seem to remember Ian Sterling saying something about it as well, that, you know, she's going to do exactly the same to Matthew as what Tyler's doing to her. So ultimately, Tyler is the instigator of all of this, isn't he? But I think it is one of those more grey areas, I must admit.
Yeah, it's interesting, but thank you, Joe, as always. And it's always I'm only winding you up, Joe, because I am scared of a Dave. So Let's not annoy you, you know what I mean? No, but honestly, like Joe, if you want to contact us, guys, on social media at CD RealityCast. If you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. And like our patrons, Dave, the wonderful roll call of honor, get over to patreon.com/CD RealityCast if you want to support the show. We really appreciate everybody who follows us, everyone who chats and that. And obviously we have a Discord channel every night for our patrons where we watch live the show and just basically slay everything that we're watching, which is fantastic. And I get plenty of abuse, Dave, because my radar is all over the place, and also all over to Facebook. Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. Big thanks to Charlene as always. Get over there, guys. We'll approve you. And there's loads of people in there now, loads of different discussions. So I absolutely love it. So Dave, today's roll call of honor, we have Ken Gustafson, Lucky Lulu Green, Lauren, Tracy, Haley, Hennessy, Susan, Priscilla, Ed, Hannah, Dee Dee, Katie, Libby, Helen, Joanna, Zoe, Amy, Claire, Noreen, Jacqueline, Neve, Chloe, and that's it, just Chloe Dave. That's the end of him. So thank you so much, guys, for doing someone else. I do apologise, but wonderful. And thank you for supporting myself and Dave. We love it.
That's awesome. And I did see we get tweeted by Terence, and I'm just trying to get Twitter open now with the right account. No, I don't want to create a new account. Oh, God damn it. Hold on. Right, here we go, Chris. So this is from Terence, and he says, so all the crying for Chloe and Millie to take them back? SMH? I don't know what SMH is. Not a good look. Anyway, what is Abby doing? She says he likes Mary, and she still chooses him. She likes the drama. I'm sick of Faye and her antics. Tyler is a super clown, and Kaz disrespected Matt again. So like ourselves, Chris, Terence, all guns blazing there for all of them. And I get this sense that, it's a bit like us as well, where it's like, who the hell am I rooting for here? And I just don't know. I think by default, it ends up being Jake and Liberty for me. They've been there together since the start. We've questioned Jake and what his intentions are, but and I think in a regular season, when you've got a few different stronger couples, I think maybe they fade into obscurity. But because everyone else is so crap, they just bubble to the top there.
Yeah. No, brilliant, Dave. Absolutely brilliant. Terence is great, Dave, because he'll call us out if he think anything he disagrees with, and I love it. I love the fact that people will do that. That's what it's all about, because we don't always get it right, and I certainly don't always get it right. My big gob puts me foot in it many a time, Dave. So thanks for everybody who interacts with us, guys.
Awesome. Well, mate, we're almost there. We've got like 2.5 weeks left. It feels like a long time, but we're getting there. We're over the hump. And actually, we've probably got a good solid week of drama left, haven't we? Because once we get into that final week, it's the baby game, it's the speeches. So yeah, we're hoping we're going to see a few couples jettisoned out of the villa. That'd make it more interesting, wouldn't it, if we fired them out of a cannon into the sea? But anyway, sorry, my mind was wandering there. Chris, it's been a pleasure, mate, and I'll speak to you again next time.
Bye.